Top 10 things to consider when choosing your pediatrician. Let's go. Hi everyone, my name is Jessica Lam and I'm a board-certified pediatric nurse practitioner here to help you learn all things pediatrics. So I really wanted to touch base on this topic just because I am currently 37 weeks pregnant and really wanted to talk to you about what are the things that I would consider for myself when choosing my own pediatric primary care provider. Something that I can relate to it right now and I feel like will be helpful for you when you're trying to see what's best for your baby when they're about to come to your world and to your entire universe. Okay, anyways, so number one, know the difference between your healthcare providers. So it can get overwhelming sometimes trying to figure out what the different alphabet letters are at the end of someone's name, right? You have an MD, a DO, an NP, but an NP could be a PNP or an FNP, your PA. So there's just so many different letters out there that it gets overwhelming. What's the training? What's the education? So let's dive into it a little bit better. So your doctors, so you have your MDs and your DOs. Your MD is your doctor of medicine and your DOs are your doctor of osteopathic medicine, and basically they usually go to 4 years of bachelor's degree with whichever major they choose. That could be biology, psychology, chemistry, biochemistry. Those are kind of the major ones that we see, but it could be a multitude of different other majors, and then essentially they apply to med school. And then med school, that's an additional 4 years. And after med school, they get into a residency program. And in the residency program, they either go through pediatric residency or family medicine. And like I said, I'm just gearing towards primary care on who you might see with your visits. So biggest difference, pediatrics, obviously just pediatric population, just the kids. And then your family medicine, typically that's a little bit more of a wide variety of age groups. You have from your newborns all the way to older adults. If you want them to see your kid from being a newborn all the way till they become an adult, that's a great option as well. And then after that, board certification and being able to practice after. Number two, your nurse practitioner. So this is the typical route, but there's also other routes to be able to get to being a nurse practitioner. The first one is you're just getting your prerequisites for nursing school. That typically takes about 2 years. Then you go to nursing school, which is your bachelor's of science in nursing. Typically takes another 2 years. You graduate and then you become a registered nurse. Some people choose and opt to become a registered nurse first, get some experience there before going into the specialty that they would like, or they go straight into a master's or doctorate program, and there is where they choose what population they would like to go into. So either for pediatric, specific, either they become a pediatric nurse practitioner, which is your PNP, and your family nurse practitioner, which is your FNP. Kind of is the same concept with your pediatricians and your family medicine doctors. So basically your PNPs have about 2.5 years of experience or didactic and clinical rotation specifically for peds. And then your FNPs is about your newborns all the way to older adults. And then you get your board certification, licensure, and the licensure is the APRN. Last but not least is your physician assistant. So they also have about 4 years of bachelor's degree of whatever major they choose. And then they essentially have to have some sort of required clinical hours to get into PA school. What I'm seeing from people that I've asked that went to PA school, it ranges a lot, but a typical average is about 2,000. And then with that, they get into PA school, which usually lasts about 2.5 years. And your pediatric experience in that program typically is the rotations. If you're wanting to gear towards more pediatric population, you can ask more for that. But typically the entire time of the program, they usually have a wide variety of inpatient and outpatient care settings, as well as different populations as well. And then they get their certification and they're able to practice afterwards. So second consideration, recommendations. So this is a little bit more of a personal approach. So you can ask your family that lives around the area, your friends, your neighbors, even your OB. They usually have a good sense of good pediatricians around the area. And that's really the biggest thing is, who can I trust my kid that other people I know trust their kids with? So honestly, just really trying to ask different people and see who I feel the most comfortable with in terms of who will see my baby grow up. Number 3, insurance. Boring. I'm just kidding. No offense to insurance people out there. You guys are great. You pay for my bills. Thank you so much. So with insurance, it's very important to really hone in on this and do your research with insurance. So either you call your insurance and you ask them to send you a list of providers around your area that can take your child's insurance by the time he or she is born, or go through Google, see the different, pediatric offices out there that you're interested in, do the other way around and call that office and ask them if they take your insurance. So it's really whatever route you would like, but those are 2 options that you could do in terms of insurance. Number 4, schedule appointments. I thought that this was actually a pretty good resource to have whenever you're trying to look for your pediatric office, just because you can actually meet and greet the provider, tour the office, see if you like the layout, and really just ask your questions in that visit. So our office provides it. So, making sure that other offices, if you're looking and interested in this, then maybe you can ask them if you can have this option to be able to really just get to know the provider and the office in general. Also, you can ask for what the process is whenever you become a new patient. So sometimes that's loads of paperwork, and maybe you can do that even before baby comes. So by the time you get into that new patient appointment, you're already ready. Is it something you can just do electronically, or is it something that you have to kind of write things with, or just paper charts in general? So you can start to initiate that process once you choose their specific office. Number 5, location. If you have matched with a certain provider and they are 30 minutes to an hour away, and you're willing to drive that far to be able to see the provider that you trust with your baby, go for it. That's amazing. But if you prefer, convenience in terms of location with how far you're willing to drive, then that's really something important to consider whenever you're trying to find a provider for your baby. Number 6, hours. So this is very important as well, just so that you can know what to expect in an office. Usually your typical time is your 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., but some offices out there open till late. They have weekend availabilities. Do they have a lunch? So when you're trying to call during lunchtime, are you going to be on hold for an hour? So, just important things to consider. Like for our office, we are usually open 8 a.m. to 7 p.m., but we have rotating providers. So we actually don't have a specific time in our office that closes, because you always have a provider there. So, and then we're also open on weekends, just in the morning. So it's just something that you need to consider whenever you're trying to find convenience and availability for providers whenever you have an urgent need, or just in general with scheduling. Number 7, provider availability. So do they work alone, or do they work with other providers? If your specific provider that you see isn't available, can another provider see you, or can they answer your questions? So those are really important things as well. Another thing is, if you call in with questions, how long is that turnaround to be able to get a response from a provider when you have especially a medical care question? Number 8, services offered. So this is also something that you need to consider in terms of looking for a facility. One thing that you can think about is on-call services. So let's say your typical clinic is from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Do they have an on-call provider after those hours where you can call in and ask questions? Do they have walk-in services, or is it solely based on availability in scheduling? Let's say you get a call from school, hey, your kid has a fever, they're vomiting, they're having diarrhea, they need to go home, they need a school note. Can you see that provider that day? Can you walk in that day, or do you have to wait and schedule with the next available appointment? Number 3, is there a telemedicine option? So if you are not able to drive to the clinic and it's something simple that you can possibly just see a telemedicine appointment, can you have that option with that practice? Number 4, is there an EMR system where you can look at your healthcare information and maybe possibly even message your provider through that EMR system? EMR is your electronic medical record. Number 9, so policies. Policies are also a very important topic to consider. Some things that you can think about are your vaccine policies. Is that clinic specific with the people that vaccinate in their clinic? Like, let's say, are they okay with having people that don't like to vaccinate, or are they strictly only people that want to vaccinate can come to their clinic? Number 2, no-show or cancellation policies. Is there a specific amount of no-shows or specific amount of cancellations that you have to get discharged because you're just being non-compliant with your appointments? Number 3 would be your health information disclosures. Are you able to make sure that they're only giving health information to people that you give consent to as a parent? And last but not least, number 10 is a trusting and reliable relationship with your healthcare providers. This is an important one, you guys. Do you feel confident? Do you feel like you can trust this person with your baby, with the growth and development of your baby? Do you feel like you are being listened to whenever you're concerned? And do you feel supported in this process with that provider? Going through this process of pregnancy, of having a new baby, building a family, this is very important to just feel confident. So thank you for watching this video and going through it with me, and I hope it helped you. If you would like for me to make more videos and give me topics on what to cover and what you are concerned about, then drop a comment below, subscribe to my channel. Thank you for visiting, and hopefully this helped you.